What's up everyone? So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys what I use to get these sessions on my screen and how to correctly mark previous session highs and lows. I've had some people ask me how I mark the highs and lows and what I use, so I figured I might as well just make a YouTube video about it, but let's just go ahead and jump right into it. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come up here to the indicators tab, go into the search bar and type in Trading Sessions Sonar Lab. And it's going to be this one, the one I have starred. Go ahead and click that and you're going to see these sessions pop up on your screen. Now you can either double click one of the sessions or come up here and click that button and it's going to bring you to your settings. Now for me personally, I like to have my sessions on 4. That gives you the current session and 3 previous trading sessions. I usually mark between 2 to 3 previous sessions, mainly 2, but sometimes I like to mark 3, but definitely set it at that. Come back here. You can change the color, of everything. You can change the times, all that stuff. Basically, the thing you can do on CM time-based lines, you can change time, color, all that. And another cool thing about this, you can have your open levels too, so like daily, weekly, monthly, just say, and come down here. You can see this monthly. We had the monthly open down there, so stuff like that's pretty cool. Let's go here, turn these off right now. You can actually have it to where you can change the box if you want just the high and low to show, stuff like that, but I personally just go ahead and mark it out myself. But let's go ahead and do this. Alright, when it comes down to marking session highs and lows, you're going to want to go to the M5 and mark it through that time frame, because I found marking it on the M5 is a lot more accurate than if you were to do it on any of the other time frames. So I'm just going to mark a few and we'll just talk about it, and I'll show you some examples on how accurate this strategy can be, and just to kind of see how the market's moving and stuff. Now, one of the things I must mention is, for me personally, I only mark the high and low between London and New York session. I don't mark anything in Asian session when it comes down to it, and you don't even have to have this session on if you don't want. I just like to have it on just to see how the market moves through that session and stuff. But when it comes to marking your session highs and lows, you don't want to mark anything in Asia session, just between London and New York. Alright, so let's go ahead and see, you have New York high right here. Let's go ahead and mark this. And then you can set a template up for session high like I have it. And just look at this one right here, right? We came right to that session high. Let's go to time frame, different time frame, just so you guys can see. We came right to that session high, went right above it, dropped back down, right? Now with session highs and lows, and just like any other strategy, it's not 100% going to be accurate. It might go a little above it, a little below it, but it gives you a very good idea when you tap into it, and just how the market's moving. If you push right past the session high and you just keep going and going and going, it's just an extra little confirmation on your chart, show the market's bullish, and a lot of times the market likes to reject off session highs and session lows. That's why I like to mark them out. And the thing is, with session highs and lows, you don't enter just off that. You want to have it in confluence with, if you use supply and demand, support and resistance, or whatever you use. I personally use supply and demand. I like to have my supply and demand and previous session highs and lows in confluence with each other. Now getting back to this, you can see the session high right here came right above it a little. We tapped it right there, reverse, but we came up above it just a little bit, then came back down. It's pretty close by, right? Now, I'm not even going to worry too much about showing you guys this session low right here because we are way above it, but I will show you this one. Now, remember, you mark it between London and New York, so you come down here, you see the lowest point, you want to do that, mark it as session low, now follow it over. Look, we tapped right into it and then went directly back up again. I'll go ahead and mark it out just like this so you can see. You can see we literally tapped it perfectly in New York session, came right back down, tapped right into it, and continued to the upside. And now let's go ahead, because that's a session low for this session, mark out the session high, right? Go here, session high, and now just followed over. What did it do again? Came a little above it, bounced around a little above it, came down, and gave a pretty nice move all the way to the session low. And like I said, you know, it's not always it's going to hit it perfectly, then go down. Sometimes it will. Sometimes it, you know, will float around above it or below it a little. And sometimes it'll just break right past it, right? But a lot of times session highs and lows do get respected and stuff. And you can see right here, this is a very good example of tapping right into it and then just going the opposite direction. And you can see, you know, right here, we broke past it a little, then made the move down, and it's the same thing right here. We broke past it, then moved down. And moving on to another pair, just to give you guys another example, let's just go to, let's see, let's check gold out. I know I have a lot of people that trade gold, so we'll just go ahead and mark this out, right? And I'm going to do examples first, and then I'll just show you guys literally how I mark, which you can kind of already tell, but I'll just give you guys an example. Let me show you guys some more examples. So let's just go here. We got London right here. New York ends over here. The high is up here. Go to the M5. You mark that session high. And let's just go down here. And I'll mark the session low too. Don't know. Don't think we've been down here. No. But just to show you guys, that's how we mark the session low. Now, session high, just for an example, let's follow it over, and I'm going to show you guys where it tapped into and if it gave a move or not. Boom, right there. You can see, let me go ahead and put this just like this. All right, you can see we tapped into that right there and perfectly just went right down our way and gave us a move down. Like I said, I don't enter just off session highs or lows. I like to have it in confluence with supply and demand when I trade. But you can see how accurate it was right there. We tapped right into it and it gave us a move down. And we came back, went a little above it, went back down, and then you can see we were pretty bullish and just broke right past it. But it did respect that session high right there. Let's go to another one. You got London, New York, find the high right up here. Let me go ahead and put session high. And what did it do? Followed over, boom, tapped into it right there. And we had a small move down, nothing crazy, but it did come up, tap into that level, respect it, and have just a little small move down. And you can see right there, that's two examples on gold, and then I showed you some examples on ES that the market does like to respect these session highs and lows, and I highly recommend going and back testing it. You know, sometimes they won't respect it though, or sometimes it'll fall a little short and not quite tap into that area, but a lot of times it does respect those session highs and lows. And you can see right here, we had the session high, broke past it, tapped into that one, came, and literally, look, we used, you know, we kept tapping into the session high above it though. There was kind of like a level of resistance, or excuse me, there was like a level of support at this point. If, you know, for my support resistance traders, you could see this area tapped into it, kept tapping into it, but with that session high right there. So those session highs are important. That's a few examples on ES and gold. And see, another thing I forgot to mention too was it's not always going to hit in the next New York or London session. Like this one that we marked out earlier, you can see this came tapped into an Asian session, and we don't trade Asian session, but it doesn't always mean it's going to hit in that session, or it might not even hit in a session that we have marked out, you know. But that's one of the things. Most of the time it does like to hit in some sort of session. And like I mentioned earlier, I like to have it in confluence with supply and demand. That's going to be a whole nother video though. This was just kind of showing you some examples on session highs and lows, how to mark them. So let's just do a small recap real quick. Let's go here. The best and easiest way, most accurate I think, is to mark highs and lows on the M5 time frame. The second thing is the session high and low must The session high and low must come from London/New York, so your high and low must be between London session and New York session, not Asian session or anything else. That's the best thing, I think. Like I said, it's going to be for another video, but a lot of times you want confluence with your other trading strategy. So like I said, if you use supply and demand, support and resistance, anything, you want it in confluence with your strategy. So those are the main things. It's really easy to mark the session highs and lows, and like I said, go to your indicators tab, type in trading session Sonar Lab, and you got all the settings, colors, stuff. You don't need to mess with anything on the style really, unless you just want to trade or change the color, the boxes, labels, all that stuff. And then visibility, you don't need to trade or change nothing at all. But that is I think everything for this session high and low video. It was just something short, but if you guys like this video, make sure you leave a like, comment, and I'm gonna try to keep making more of these. Let's see, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.